Hi everyone, Harry here from Fair Do Music in Birmingham, and I'm joined once again by Paul from Yamaha. So Paul, what brings you here today?
Well, Harry, today we're here to talk about Clavinova CSP 200 series. Now, if you haven't heard of a Clavinova, Yamaha made the first Clavinova way back in 1983, so if my maths is right, that's over 43 years ago. Clavinova, a digital piano that allows you to play an acoustic grand instrument but at home. So it kind of looks like an upright, but it feels and sounds like a grand instrument. Now, there are different ranges within Clavinova. We have CLP, which is classical piano. We have CVP, which is Clavinova versatile piano. So that's kind of, if you imagine one of our workstations inside a CLP model. So it's got lots of buttons, it's got screens, and you can do everything with it. It's incredible. But the newest kid on the block is something called CSP. Now this is a Clavinova that's very, very smart. It's a very smart piano. Now that kind of gives you a clue. We use a tablet, a device, an iPad or a selected Android device to use along with the instrument. Now if you just want a piano, and you don't want any bells and whistles, you just want a piano, CSP, it's great. It's got one button, an on-off button and a volume control.
Great.
However, when you add an iPad in this case, it opens up a whole world of possibilities. And I say possibilities because learning to play the piano, it can be a pretty lonely place, let's face it, learning to play scales and arpeggios and so on and so forth.
Learning any instrument.
Well, yeah, you've got to work at it, haven't you? So we at Yamaha thought, you know what, it would be great if we could give you an instrument that would really inspire the learning process. In fact, it can actually teach you how to play. And if you really think about that, you know, if you're sending the kids for piano lessons, that's fantastic. But maybe you've got, you know, mum and dad sat at home and the kids have gone to bed and they're looking at this beautiful instrument that they've got and they're thinking, well, I'd love to be able to play that. Well, CSP is the perfect option because it will actually teach you how to play using a function called Smart Pianist, the Smart Pianist app. And this instrument has something called Streamlights. Let's take a look.
Yeah.
We're going to have a look at the CSP 275. So, CSP 275. I mean, first of all, it looks beautiful. We've got a full cover. This particular model is in polished ebony. It does come in various other colors, but the really great thing about CSP from a piano point of view is that it will teach you how to play. Clavinova has been around for over 43 years, and when we consider a piano, it's great having a piano, but pretty useless if you can't play it. So the bridge between the piano and the player is the education. It's actually teaching someone how to play, and this is where Clavinova Smart Piano comes into play because it is really smart. So we're going to take a look at that. But first of all, when we open the cover, we see that we've got an 88 note keyboard. Now this is a graded action. It's called Grand Touch S. Really important. It's heavier at the bottom and it progressively gets lighter. We've got synthetic ebony and synthetic ivory key tops, so the feel of the instrument is great. And we've even got wooden keys on this model. CSP 275 has a wooden key, which just gives the feel of the instrument a really kind of great, the behavior between the player and the instrument is really solid. It really gives a natural kind of feel. So the keyboard is brilliant for anyone learning to play, or indeed someone who is a consummate professional as well. Sound, of course, is really important, and like Yamaha, most of our Yamaha pianos, we employ the sample or the recording of the real CFX Concert Grand. If you ever get a chance to play one of them, have a go. It's £150,000 worth of Concert Grand piano. It's 9 foot long. It's just absolutely stunning in every sense. It's recorded and it lives inside CSP 275. So when I play, I'm actually playing the sound of a concert grand. Let's take a listen. just a stunning, beautiful sound. And of course, the instrument reacts to how I play. So if I'm playing it hard, I get a kind of a hard tone. The softer I hit the keyboard, I get a softer tone, just as you would on an acoustic grand piano. But of course, I've got many other voices that I can play with. When we say voices, we mean sounds. And to access those voices, we're going to use, in this case, I've got an iPad. You can use various Android devices as well, and we can connect wirelessly to the instrument. So I've got Bluetooth audio, so the sounds can play through the instrument. And I've also got Bluetooth MIDI, so I can control the instrument via the iPad. So here is my CFX that we've just played. Now, of course, I can edit that sound as well. I can close the lid, which of course will affect the sound just as it does on an acoustic grand. But I can also go into the piano room where I can actually start editing the voice, because every room in a house is different. So depending on the furnishings that you have, the sound of the instrument is going to be different. Well, with CSP, I can actually edit that. But one other thing that's really great about this instrument, we talk about voices. We've got over 700 voices, and in fact 772 voices on this particular instrument. CFX is just one of them. To move to the next piano in the piano room, literally just scroll across, and there we now have the Bosendorfer Imperial. The Bosendorfer Imperial is yet another concert grand, and it sounds just awesome. Have a listen. Just a beautiful, warm sound that's got a different character to the CFX. And of course, if I swipe again, now I've got Studio Grand, which is, as the name suggests, it lives in recording studios around the world, and it kind of has a sound that cuts through the mix. So lots of piano sounds on board, so depending on what type of music that you want to play, you can choose whatever piano sound you want. But we talked about voices, over 772 on board. To access those, very simply, I can go into the voice section. And simply by tapping the picture on the screen, I've now got access to all of these voices. So if I wanted to play, I don't know, let's have a look at some maybe strings, a concert string orchestra. Or what about some organ? We sell a lot of these instruments to churches. So in your church, if you wanted to play with an organ sound, we have those as well. So let's select classical pipe, and here we go. So lots and lots of voices on board. We've got rock organs, we've got pop organs, we've got percussion, we've got drums, we've got guitars. Let's have a look at what some of the guitars. So let's select, I don't know, let's have a concert guitar. This is one of our super articulation voices. And what that means is we're not just going to hear the guitar itself, the note that it's playing, but also all of the nuances and the characters of the guitar. So the slides and the twangs and the bangs, if you like. Have a listen to this. Just beautiful. Now, of course, having all of these voices is great. We can also mix the voices. So if I wanted to take, maybe let's go back to the CFX. So there's my concert grand. Let's layer a sound together, so mix a sound. If I press the button that says layer, it's come up with concert strings. So now I've got concert grand piano mixed with strings. I can also edit that. Maybe the strings are a little bit loud. So if I go into the balance setting, I can take And of course, endless possibilities. I can layer it with pad sounds. I can pretty much do what I want. You can split the keyboard, so you've got a left sound, so I can play bass in my left with 2 sounds in the right. But also, talking about voices, wouldn't it be great if I could play along with my favourite band? So, for instance, if I'm playing piano at home, that's great, but wouldn't it be great if I could bring the band home as well? Well, of course, with CSP, you can. If I simply go into the style section, I've got access to 495 backing bands. So I can simply select a backing band. In fact, should we stay with the guitar? Let's say I want to play guitar, but I want a kind of a guitar style band in the backing. So let's choose that. So I'm going to find a style that I like, and that is the style I want. It's called Club Dance 1. Very, very simple to operate the style section. You can see I'm selecting the different genres. For instance, there's country if I wanted different types of country, and all the different styles are appearing. So I'm going to use Club Dance. So there is my style. I've even got variations of the style, so verse, chorus, second chorus, so on and so forth. So I've now split the keyboard. You can either use it as a piano or as a full keyboard, or you can split it. So I've just put a split point here so I can play chords in the left and I can play the melody line to the right if I like. Have a listen to this. So start with the guitar. So the sound is amazing. I'm playing a guitar with a backing band. It really is incredible. And as I said, we've got over 495 styles or backing bands all built in. But you know what? Playing with this instrument is, as we said at the beginning, it's great if you can play. But the real great thing about CSP is it will teach you how to play. Let's take a look at this. So let's take a look at how we can use CSP to actually teach us how to play. Now imagine I've come to my very first piano lesson. Imagine I can't read music and I don't know where the notes are. If we go into the song section, I'm going to load up a lesson. So let's take a look at how we can use CSP to actually teach us how to play. Now imagine I've come to my very first piano lesson. Imagine I can't read music and I don't know where the notes are. If we go into the song section, I'm going to load up a lesson. So here's my first lesson, but of course, as I said, I can't read music and I don't know where the notes are. So in a real piano lesson, the first thing the teacher would do is to sit to the left and the teacher would play the left hand. You would sit to the right and you would play the right hand because it's much easier to learn to play one hand at a time. So the teacher's playing the accompaniment part and you're playing the right hand part, the melody part. So what CSP will do is exactly that. We have our first exercise, and when I press the start button, the teacher is going to play the accompaniment and I'm going to play the right hand. But of course, as I said, I don't know where the notes are. Watch this. Let's press start. The note is actually lighting up to show me which note to play. And when I play the right note, the teacher is playing the accompaniment part. But really interestingly is if I get the note wrong, it will not continue. So I've got to play the right note for the instrument to continue. Oh. And of course, as you progress through your education, through your lessons, there's lots and lots of different pieces of music on board and lessons on board. With that in mind, you can actually download your favorite piece of music as a MIDI file, load it onto your iPad, and actually the instrument will score your piece of music, so you can play along with your very own piece of music. It even has something called audio to score. So if you have an audio file, you can load in an audio file, and the instrument will actually give you a chord progression to play along with your favorite piece of music in audio. So it really is so clever, an instrument that will actually teach you how to play.
So thank you so much, Paul. That was really insightful. I didn't know that a piano could actually teach someone to play, and also the range of stuff that's in there, what the iPad can control.
Well, absolutely, and we've not got to forget that the iPad is the controller. It's the interface into the instrument. So just to recap, I mean, Clavinova CSP 275, it looks beautiful. It feels beautiful under the fingers, so anyone wanting to learn to play, you're guaranteed to kind of get a really good technique. The sound is amazing. As we said, over 772 voices on board, 495 styles. It does all of this stuff, but the main thing, I think, regarding CSP is its ability to teach someone how to play, a complete beginner. And quite often we see people, at many of our events, and always they say, oh, I would love to be able to play. But the problem is actually learning to play, having to go to music lessons. If you can go to music lessons, brilliant. But many people, they haven't got the time, kind of life gets in the way. So to have an instrument at home that can teach them how to play is incredible. And not forgetting that if you buy a CSP 275 right now, you'll get Flowkey, which is another training app which works in conjunction with the Streamlights. You'll get that absolutely free for 3 months. Brilliant.
Well, sounds like worthwhile getting.
Absolutely.
Thanks for coming once again.
You're more than welcome.
All the information about the instrument itself and the listing we have on our website is in the description below. I've been Harry, and thanks for watching.